Hi guys, I'm Jaden and I'm going to read the book Think and Grow Rich. I'm doing this recording to help you read the book while listening to my reading. Neither I'm a native English speaker nor a professional book reader, so keep that in mind that I make some mistakes. Here we go. Think and Grow Rich. A word from the author. In every chapter of this book, mention has been made of the money-making secret which has made fortunes for hundreds of exceedingly wealthy men whom I have carefully analyzed over a long period of years. The secret was brought to my attention by Andrew Carnegie more than half a century ago. The canny, lovable old Scotchman carelessly tossed it into my mind when I was but a boy. Then he sat back in his chair with a merry twinkle in his eyes and watched carefully to see if I had brains enough to understand the full significance of what he had said to me. When he saw that I had grasped the idea, he asked if I would be willing to spend 20 years or more preparing myself to take it to the world, to men and women who, without the secret, might go through the life as failure. I said I would, and with Mr. Carnegie's cooperation, I had kept my promise. This book contains the secret after having been put to a practical test by thousands of people in almost every walk of life. It was Mr. Carnegie's idea that the magic formula, which gave him stupendous fortune, ought to be placed within reach of people who do not have time to investigate how men make money. And it was his hope that I may test and demonstrate the soundness of the formula through the experience of men and women in every calling. He believed the formula should be taught in all public schools and colleges, and expressed the opinion that if it were properly taught, it would be revolutionize the entire educational system, that the time spent in the school could be reduced to less than half. In the chapter on faith, you will read the astounding story of the organization of the giant United States Steel Corporation, as it was conceived and carried out by one of the young men through whom Mr. Carnegie proved that his formula will work for all who are ready for it. This single application of the secret by Charles M. Schwab made him a huge fortune in both money and opportunity. Roughly speaking, this particular application of the formula was worth $600 million. These facts, and they are facts well known to almost everyone who know Mr. Carnegie, give you a fair idea of what the reading of this book may bring to you, provided you know what it is that you want. The secret was passed on to thousands of men and women who have used it for their personal benefit, as Mr. Carnegie planned that they should. Some have made fortunes with it. Others have used it successfully in creating harmony in their homes. A clergyman used it so effectively that it brought him an income of upwards of $75,000 a year. Arthur Nash, a Cincinnati tailor, used his near-bankrupt business as a guinea pig on which to test the formula. The business came to life and made a fortune for its owners. It is still thriving, although Mr. Nash has gone. The experiment was so unique that newspapers and magazines gave it more than $1 million worth of laudatory publicity. The secret was passed to the Stuart Austin Wire of Dallas, Texas. He was ready for it. So ready that he gave up his profession and studied the law. Did he succeed? The story is told too. While serving as an advertising manager of the La Salle Extension University, When it was a little more than a name, I had the privilege of seeing J.G. Chaplin, president of the university, use a formula so effectively that he made La Salle one of the great extension school of the country. The secret to which I refer has been mentioned no fewer than 100 times throughout this book. It had not been directly named, for it seems to work more successfully when it is merely uncovered and left in sight, where those who are ready and searching for it may pick it up. That is why Mr. Carnegie tossed it to me so quietly without giving me its specific name. If you're ready to put it to use, you will recognize the secret at least once in every chapter. I wish I might feel privileged to tell you how you will know if you're ready, but that would deprive you of much of your benefit you receive when you make the discovery in your own way. If you have ever been discouraged, if you have difficulties to surmount, which took the very soul out of you, if you have tried and failed, if you were ever handicapped by illness or physical affliction, the story of my son's discovery and use of the Carnegie formula may prove to be the oasis in the desert of lost hope for which you have been searching. This secret was extensively used by the President Woodrow Wilson during the World War I. It was passed on to every soldier who fought in the war, carefully wrapped in the training received before going to the front. President Wilson told me it was a strong factor in raising the funds needed for the war. A peculiar thing about the secret is that those who once acquire it and use it find themselves literally swept onto success. If you doubt this, study the names of those who use it. Wherever they have been mentioned, check their records for yourself and be conceived. There is no such thing as something for nothing. The secret to which I refer cannot be had without a price, although the price is far less than its value. It cannot be had at any price by those who are not intentionally searching for it. It cannot be given away. It cannot be purchased for money, for the reason that it comes in two parts. One part is already in possession of those who are ready for it. The secret serves equally well all who are ready for it. Education has nothing to do with it. Long before I was born, the secret had found its way into the possession of Thomas A. Edison, and he used it so intelligently that he became the world's leading inventor, although he had but 3 months of schooling. The secret was passed on to the Edmund C. Barnes, a business associate of Mr. Edison. He used it so effectively that although he was then making only $12,000 a year, he accumulated a great fortune and retired from active business while still a young man. You will find his story at the beginning of the first chapter. It should convince you that riches are not beyond your reach, that you can still be what you wish to be, that money or fame, recognition, and happiness can be had by all who are ready and determined to have these blessings. How do I know these things? You should have the answer before you finish the book. You may find it in the very first chapter or on the last page. While I was performing the 20-year task of research, which I had undertaken Mr. Carnegie's request, I analyzed hundreds of well-known men, many of whom admitted that they had accumulated their vast fortunes through the aid of Carnegie's secret. Among these men were Henry Ford, Harrison Heff, Williams, William Riley Jr., Dr. Frank Gonzalez, John Wanamaker, Daniel Willard, James J. Hill, King Gillett, George S. Parker, Ralph A. Weeks, E. M. Statler, Judge Daniel T. Wright, Henry L. Doherty, Kairos H. K. Curtis, John D. Rockefeller, George Eastman, Thomas A. Edison, Charles M. Schwab, Frank A. Bundelip, Theodore Roosevelt, F. W. Woolworth, John W. Davis, Colonel Robert A. Dollar, Albert Howard, Wilbur Wright, Edward A. Phelan, William Jennings Bryan, Edwin C. Barnes, Arthur Nash, Dr. David Starr Jordan, Clarence Darrow, Woodrow Wilson, J. Ogden Armour, William Howard Taft, Arthur Brisbane, Luther Burbank, Julius Rosenwald, Edward W. Bok, Stuart Austin Wire, Frank A. Munsey, Dr. Frank Crane, Albert H. Gray, George M. Alexander, Dr. Alexander Graham Bell, J. G. Chaplin, United States Senate Jennings Randolph, John H. Patterson. These names represent but a small fraction of hundreds of well-known Americans whose achievements in financial and otherwise prove that those who understand and apply the Carnegie Secret reach high stations in life. I have never known anyone who was inspired to use the secret who did not achieve noteworthy success in his chosen calling. I have never known a person to distinguish himself or to accumulate riches of any consequence without possession of the secret. From these two facts, I draw the conclusion that the secret is more important as a part of the knowledge essential for self-determination than any which one receives through what is popularly known as education. What is education anyway? This has been answered in full detail. Somewhere, as you read, the secret to which I refer will jump from page and stand boldly before you, if you are ready for it. When it appears, you will recognize it. Whether you received a sign in the first or the last chapter, stop for a moment when it presents itself and turn down a glass, for that occasion will mark the most important turning point of your life. Remember, 2. As you go through the book, that it deals with facts and not with fiction, its purpose being to convey a great universal truth through which all who are ready may learn what to do and how to do it. They will also receive the needs stimulus to make a start. As a final word of preparation, before you begin the first chapter, may I offer one brief suggestion which may provide a clue by which the Carnegie Secret may be recognized. It is this: all achievement, all earned riches have their beginnings in an idea. If you're ready for the secret, you already possess one half of it. Therefore, you will readily recognize the other half the moment it reaches your mind. Napoleon Hill. Thank you very much for listening to my reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel that I would upload tons of readings. And if you like it, please hit the like button for me. Thank you.